Hi everyone, I'm K.S. Lewis and welcome to Love Dish, where each week we infuse the richness of love and relationships with the goodness of great food. So, cannabis, it's back, it's better than ever. Guess what? Here in the U.S., it's becoming more and more accepted, but lawmakers are still at odds with whether or not it should be fully legalized. On tonight's finale, I'm blazing through a dish with Dr. Malik Burnett as we talk about cannabis itself, its full legalization, and whether or not it really enhances interactions with your partner. You don't want to miss out on this conversation or this dish. So meet me right back here as we roll up our sleeves and get started.
Sit right here, my dear. Come on, baby, open up about your fears. Let's talk about love, laughs and tears. I hope that I make it clear for you, love, I'm here.
Baby, just show me your heart. You know that this could be the very start of something wonderful, so incredible. Just the right amount of flavor makes this a dish we both can savor.
Let's bring together these ingredients of joy and laughter, so we can make this love dish. We can make this love dish.
Welcome back to Love Dish. I'm K.S. Lewis, and this is my good friend, Dr. Malik Burnett.
What's up?
Welcome
Hey,
so much. I'm so glad you're here.
Thanks for having me.
So I just want to start out by saying we got a lot of great little fun looking goodies here. And
For
tonight we're going to talk about cannabis, as I mentioned. But tell us a little bit about what you do and the work surrounding cannabis that you've done.
Sure. So first, excuse my voice. Trying to get over a little something.
That's okay.
So I'm a physician by training. I work in drug policy. I've been working in the district for the past 3 years, helping to reform drug policy more generally, focused specifically on marijuana. 2014, we ran the campaign to legalize marijuana in the nation's capital, largely focused around racial justice. Before I got there, African Americans were 8 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession. It's about an equal use across race. And so we thought it was important to, get marijuana out of the criminal justice system because it just fundamentally serves as a gateway for people of color to get criminal records. Once they have a criminal record, they can apply for financial aid. They have to report it on the job application, and their life is just fundamentally harder.
So it becomes a domino effect, basically, once that beginning, issue happens.
Exactly.
Right.
And so focus largely around that. Now, the district also has a medical program.
Okay.
And work with a number of companies in the district to help patients better understand how to use their medicine.
Okay. When you're speaking of medicine, you're talking about
cannabis.
Okay.
Right. Cannabis used as a medicine.
Right.
Everybody back
we want to
in the
make
day,
sure that we're very clear.
Right.
So.
right. No, but everybody has their thought and idea around cannabis.
Because back in the day, it probably has always been, great for medicinal purposes. But back in the day, that's not really what it was known for.
Right.
That wasn't a central focus, right?
Everybody was trying to get their fun on and everything like
That's
that. And
true.
while that still can happen,
right,
there are definitely lots of medical purposes.
Okay. Can you list just a few of the top medical purposes that it can enhance or that it can help with?
Sure. So, you can put them into a couple big categories. Number one is pain. Okay. Right now we have a major opioid epidemic going on in the country.
Yes.
And cannabis has been shown as a very strong substitute for opioid-based medications And you see now in states where they've legalized medical marijuana, there's a 25% reduction in opioid overdose deaths.
Wow.
So lots and lots of positive results coming from pain standpoint.
Okay.
You know, a lot of little kids, they'll have seizures, multiple seizures a day, and they end up using cannabis in tincture form to help them with their seizures. Lots of people have AIDS, HIV, cancer, they have nausea, vomiting, wasting syndromes, and cannabis can be used to be very helpful to stimulate their appetite. Oh, wow. So there's a broad range of sort of uses, but those are a few of the top ones that we see people coming into dispensaries in DC and now even here in Maryland. So we're starting to make some more progress.
That sounds amazing. So pain, you know, HIV and AIDS patients, patients with seizures. So it sounds like just overall it can offer so much in the realm of you know, medicine and just being able to assist with easing the issue.
I bet you didn't know your body, much like it has a circulatory system.
Yes.
You know, it's got a respiratory system. It has its own endocannabinoid system.
I don't know what he just said.
Endocannabinoid.
But I'm sure there's a lot of people up there with a medical background that know what an endocannabinoid. Cannabinoid.
Yep.
Did I say it right?
Endocannabinoid.
That's a win.
Indeed. Indeed. So you have your own system in your body that basically helps keep your body functioning the way it should be.
Okay.
In layman's terms, right? I'm not going to drop
Thank
any
you.
sort of heavy technical sort of
Thank
stuff.
you so much.
It keeps your body in balance.
Okay.
And so whenever it works mostly on your immune system and your nervous system.
Okay.
And so whenever those two systems get out of balance, you can use cannabis to help restate.
To kind of bring it back.
Bring it all back together.
Okay.
Right.
All right. So pain, if I'm out of balance, I can use cannabis to bring it back into balance. Now let me ask you this, because we talk about love and relationships on this show. How does it enhance or not enhance a love relationship? Does it enhance it?
So there are lots of different products that we have that are cannabis-based that can be used for intimate scenarios and situations. Okay. We got a few lubes.
Really?
Yep. There are some few cannabis lubes out on the market. You never know. So that definitely can help.
That is so interesting.
Put some extra pep into your step.
Right.
Or give you a little bit of extra support when you need it. Inside the bedroom. A lot of people think of cannabis as an aphrodisiac and use it to increase the libido. Okay. And a lot of people report very positive sort of experiences under the influence of cannabis while engaging in those sort of activities.
So it sounds like the list goes on and on and on.
It's a very
for the
versatile
benefits.
Plant. It's a very versatile plant.
It's a very versatile plant.
Yep.
We like versatility on this show.
Always.
So I want to ask, of course, everyone that comes on the show has a signature dish.
Yep.
And we see a lot of candy up here. Now, I do want to point out that these are not edible.
They're not infused.
They're just regular goodies.
It would be dope if they were infused.
They would be. They'd be amazing.
I'm sure everybody who's watching right here, staff would be all over this joint.
Right. After we cut the camera, they would just dive in.
With the quickness.
But so what are we making tonight?
So I think we're going to keep it simple because I want to help explain the medical process of how you use it. And so we're going to make brownies tonight. Okay. Old traditional sort of cannabis.
And if you are of a certain age, then you know that some of the earlier entertainment purposes were brownies, or if you saw it on TV, a lot of times or in movies you would see that people made brownies. Right. But legitimately, do people still really use brownies as is that a top edible still?
Sure, for sure. Well, I mean, a top edible, there are a whole vast array of edibles at this point in time, right? There are things that are sweet, things that are savory. I mean, you name it, you can infuse cannabis into it. Right. Brownies is just kind of an old faithful. Right. And what, again, I want to kind of emphasize with this show is explaining dosing it, because it's a very simple sort of recipe to make. You can easily explain the concept of dosing. And so a lot of people, when they're using edibles, they tend to run into trouble because they'll eat way too much of an edible and consume way too much cannabis and then get a whole bunch of paranoia. Okay. And so in order to kind of help people avoid that, we can like use brownies as a very simple recipe to teach people about dosing.
Okay.
How to use cannabis.
I love it. Well, I say let's go in the kitchen and let's get started.
Let's do it.
All right. We'll be right back with Love Dish, where we will make easy cannabis infused brownies, and meet us back here in just a moment. Welcome back to Love Dish. I'm Kay Lewis, and as I promised, we are in the kitchen with Dr. Malik Burnett. We are going to do brownies today.
Indeed.
The most simple cannabis infused recipe that has ever existed. It's back to basics, throwback to 70s.
Way back.
Way back. So tell us what we're going to do, and I am your sous chef today, so I will do whatever you tell me you need done.
So we're going to do some cookie brownie cupcakes.
Ooh.
It's very, very delicious.
Cookie brownie cupcakes. That sounds really good.
So you got to make sure your oven is preset 325 degrees.
Okay.
Saves you some time.
Okay.
We're going to lay out our whole setup here.
Okay.
I saw you started putting together.
Yes, I'm going to put these little
settings.
cups, and look how they kind of got this little...
swirly sort of action going on for a little psychedelics.
I'm good for it. I'm just helping out.
All right, great. So I'm going to need you to lay those down.
Okay.
Pop out these bowls here.
Okay.
And, basically the idea here is to use our infused cannabis butter as the cannabis ingredient, right? So most people, when they're trying to make brownies, they think about, okay, they have like dried flour, and they're like, all right, how do I get my flour into a status where I can put it into my brownies? So they're like, fry it in oil a little bit.
Oh, really?
Oil. Yeah, sometimes they're like...
This is like such a learning experience for me because, first of all, I've never made a cannabis-infused brownie product, whatever, before.
Right.
But so people actually take the time.
Right. They simmer their cannabis.
Wow.
Saute their cannabis.
Okay. Saute it.
Right. Get the oil, like so all the cannabinoids come off of the cannabis plant into the oil. And they take the oil and they pour it into whatever it is that they're making, right?
Okay.
So we save the step into butter.
Okay.
Right, that's already infused.
So how long, if we were to do the original step that you just mentioned, if we were to, simmer it and I guess we're skimming off whatever we need from that,
right.
How long does that normally take?
Usually about 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, so it's not a long process. It's
Not
just,
too long.
So but this extra step
And,
will help.
then your whole house smells like sauteed cannabis.
Okay.
Right?
Which you may or may not enjoy.
Some people like that, right?
Right, okay.
Like so, rather than saving, the aroma of sauteed cannabis,
yes.
We just put some butter
okay.
that's already pre-infused
okay.
that we can use as part of our cannabis component, right?
That sounds great.
So, in the normal layout of setting up this whole process, your recipe is going to call for about 9 tablespoons of butter.
Okay.
And we're going to use most of the butter as normal butter, right?
Okay, most of the regular butter.
Most of the regular butter.
The non-infused butter.
Non-infused butter is going to be the predominant amount of butter, right?
Right.
And so you have 12 cupcakes there, right?
I'm excited. So I'm just...
Super hot. It's very, very cute.
So I'm such a geek.
No, it's okay. And so what you're going to think about, this is like how you think about dosing.
Okay.
Remember we were talking about in the previous segment?
Yes.
People get into trouble because
they overdo it.
Right. Their edibles are too strong.
Right.
So when you're thinking about dosing, you want to think, how much cannabis do I want in each brownie?
Okay.
Or each brownie cupcake.
And so let me ask you this before you move on. When you're thinking about how much cannabis do I want in each brownie, depending upon whether you are trying to soothe yourself from pain or depending upon what you're trying to, what ailment you may be trying to have a benefit for, does that matter with the dosing?
Generally because depending on what you're trying to treat, also
you
probably...
said that so nicely.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
no, it's okay.
Whatever you're trying to do with
It's on a pro.
Right.
So whatever you're trying to treat, you based on your disease condition, you may have a certain level of experience with cannabis already.
Okay.
Right, and so the more experience you have with cannabis, the more cannabis you're probably going to need in order to get the therapeutic effect that you're looking for.
Okay. So the more you have already into the more intake you've had.
Right, the longer you've been using it.
And the longer you've been using it, that's better.
Then
you might have to
up
the dose
brownie, right?
For brownie, okay.
And so here,
Makes sense.
let's say you're making brownies for a group of people who are coming over. Most people will start off with like 20 to 30 milligrams of THC, which is the active ingredient in cannabis, or one of the active ingredients in cannabis, per brownie, right?
Okay.
And so we have this butter here, and it has about 450 milligrams in this canister.
And so we're not using that whole canister.
We don't want to use the whole canister because you'll probably put about 40 milligrams. You divide 450 by 12.
Okay.
Roughly 40 milligrams per brownie, which is double for going for, right?
Okay.
So we're probably going to use like half the can. Okay. Right? And so we're going to basically start by putting our mixes together. Okay. This is our brownie mix.
I'm going to put this one in here then.
Right. I'm going to put this brownie mix in here. And I basically...
And this is just a regular mix, right?
It's just a regular mix that comes in a box.
But if someone wanted to make these from scratch, I'm guessing they could get the flour, the cocoa powder, they could get the chips, all of that separately and just kind of... Whatever their so I guess whatever their I'll take that for you. Thanks. Whatever their favorite recipe is, and
whatever
they can utilize.
However you like your brownies.
However you like your brownies.
I like my
or your cake,
or
your. Right. Could you do cake and you do pie?
Everything.
Okay, because there are a lot of savory.
You need butter for everything, right?
Whatever you need butter for.
You can make it happen.
You heard it here first. Boom. Probably not first, but you heard it here tonight.
Just like that. Just like that, right?
I love it.
Yeah. So. Our recipe also calls for an egg.
Okay.
So we take our egg, boom, drop it in there.
Simple enough.
Straightforward.
I'll take that shell.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Then we got some water, 2 tablespoons of water in our cookie mix, in our brownie mix. And a nice little measure of this one.
Oh, you know what? Maybe.
Just use these, right? Smart.
2 tablespoons?
Yeah.
Like full tablespoons? There you go. I'm here to help.
You got it too. Look at that. It's dynamite. That's 1. And 2. Right? Okay. And then for your other one, you got the cookie part. It's just 1 tablespoon. Okay. Boom, right?
Simple stuff.
Very straightforward, right?
Very straightforward so far. So far, so good.
Got your butter.
We have our regular butter. Regular butter.
Right? And usually you just pick one of the 2 sort of setups to put your infused butter in.
Okay.
This whole thing is going to get mixed together at the end of this process, right? Okay. And so I'm just going to put the vast majority of the regular butter into a cookie mix. Okay.
So I think, but like this would be half, that would be half, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, a knife.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Then I'm going to open up my infused butter.
Let me just cut it in half here. I'm going to take this over here so you can work with that one. Do you need a knife or spoon for that one as well?
Let's see. Good. It's a nice setup.
Okay.
So, like I said, there's about 450 milligrams in this can.
And can you just let's just see. Okay, so what am I seeing in here?
So basically you got, this is our savory type of butter. Okay. It's got a whole bunch of different sort of...
Is that going to taste okay in the sweet dish?
So we're going to add a little bit of extra sugar.
Okay.
So now add like a little bit of spicy kick.
Got it. These are going to be really interesting cookie brownies.
They're going to taste very delectable. Do not lose faith.
Okay.
We got sugar, and sugar's on our side.
That's all we need is sugar.
Right? Sugar will fix any problem. Don't you forget that, right?
Sugar will fix any problem. That's right. It's sweet.
First.
It'll work.
Exactly. So basically what I'm going to do is probably take about half of this. Okay. And put it in, and then we're just going to mix it all up. Okay. All right. So that's a straightforward process.
All right. And I'm going to put this. Okay. Now, am I putting both of these in here?
You can put one in there.
Just one. In both? Okay. That looks like so much. I'm scared.
You're scared? I'm scared.
Only because it's savory.
It's okay.
And so I'm wondering, is it going to taste like...
It's going to taste a little bit...
Is it going to have an earthy taste?
Exactly. I like that.
There we go.
That was smooth. I like it. That was good.
Earthy.
Earthy.
I'm here for you.
I like it a lot. And so Yeah, then we're gonna mix it up.
Okay.
So you got your little whisking action.
All right.
All
right, and while we're mixing it up, let's take a short break just to give you a chance to put a little bit more elbow grease in there.
Yeah, it can't be
so
pretentiously for the cameras.
He is real strong in here, y'all.
Right.
But anyway, as we continue to mix this up, we will get that done, and we'll be right back right here on Love Dish. Welcome back to Love Dish. I'm KS Lewis with Dr. Malik Burnett. We out here. All right, so of course we kind of tasted the batter.
That was good.
It was good. It's good stuff. So we are going to begin to assemble the brownie cookie things, the cupcakes. So I'm going to let you go first.
Yep.
And then I'll come in behind you with the cookie dough.
Yep. It's pretty straightforward.
So as you're doing that, you can do that. I'm just going to start asking you some other questions. So what fueled your passion for the work that you do surrounding the legalization of marijuana?
It's funny. I got into the space largely after going to California on a whim, actually for a business school conference way back in the day, and saw how they were doing medical marijuana in California, and thought to myself, they're not really putting a lot of the research and data into this as much as they could be, and if I ever get the opportunity to do it, I feel like I'll be able to do it a little bit better than what I see out here. And so in 2012, I was doing general surgery in Massachusetts. Massachusetts legalized medical marijuana. And that kind of got me started in the process of getting involved, doing a lot of research. And then when I started doing that research, I realized I read The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander.
Very good book.
Great book, right? Around the same time. And it kind of drew to my attention a lot of the racial justice implications of the drug laws we have in the U.S. And so at that point in time, I started thinking about how marijuana and criminal justice and the impacts on people of color are all related.
Right.
And lo and behold, the worst place for that to happen is Washington, D.C.
Wow.
Or at the time, that was the place where the most people were getting victimized for cannabis possession. And so at that time, I figured I'd leave general surgery residency and come in to DC to work for the Drug Policy Alliance, helping to legalize or end cannabis prohibition in the District of Columbia.
So let me get this straight. So you believe in the benefits of cannabis, medical benefits so much that you left a medical residency to work for drug policy. Yeah. But then also because you
criminal justice too, right?
Right, the criminal justice piece of it, you knew that you could
those both
add to
it. Add value, right?
Yeah.
And make an impact. So in 2013, there were like 4,000 people arrested in the District of Columbia for cannabis possession after we legalized cannabis in the end of 2014. Right. There were like 12 people arrested.
So the numbers went from 4,000 to 12.
Right. It's big time.
You do the math on that. That's amazing.
It's big time.
So of course you believe in the added value, and I do too, actually. So I'm super excited to have you here so we can have this discussion, because I think it's a very important conversation to have and to continue to have. So, but do you just believe without a shadow of a doubt that cannabis is healthy and that it's healthy in general for relationships?
I think it's as with anything, too much of anything is not good. I think you should use cannabis responsibly. Okay. I think it can be used in a very productive way in relationships. Right. People feel very open and feel like it's much easier to communicate when they're using cannabis.
Okay, so it's like a truth serum.
Kind of, right? You want to hear that?
I'm already giggling.
Nitty gritty,
right?
Nitty gritty,
right?
Have a few. I mean, the conversation is going to go much smoother over,
Yeah. So if you have to have a difficult conversation,
versus
slide them a brownie,
exactly,
and then start talking.
No, wait like 45 minutes.
Okay, so slide them a brownie, and then maybe have some drinks,
right?
And then right at minute 35, ask them a crucial question, and sit back and wait.
And
I love it. I love it.
So you do it.
I love it. Now, how much is too much, and what are the signs that someone has had too much?
So that varies from person to person.
Okay.
Signs of having too much. I mean, there are side effects to cannabis like dry mouth, dry eyes, increased heart rate, feelings of anxiety, paranoia. Don't call 911. Don't be the person on YouTube who called 911 because they were too
Wait a minute.
high.
So dry mouth.
Yeah.
You said it sounds like a commercial. Dry mouth, itchy eyes, watery. What?
Yeah. Dry mouth, itchy eyes. Maybe increased heart rate.
Okay.
Some signs and symptoms of feeling like you're anxious.
But you said don't call 911. So what should be done?
Relax. You're just high. Like most
it sounds simple enough, right?
Seriously,
just chill out. Just relax.
Be easy. Like it's gonna be most
easy.
people just.
Okay.
Most people just.
Because I'd be the one calling like, Lord, help me.
I don't know what's going on.
Right, that'd be me.
I'm too high. I'm too high right now. Yeah, I mean, like.
But just chill.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have a serious heart condition.
Okay.
Like nothing really bad is gonna happen to you at the end of the day.
You know, I have always been a firm believer that cannabis or marijuana in general is one of those things that is just a natural product, and you are not going to hurt someone. You're not doing harm over marijuana.
Right.
So I just don't believe
more harm done to you when you get arrested for marijuana than you actually
did. You hear that? More harm done to you rather than
arrested.
By getting arrested.
Than rather than using marijuana. I mean, there's never been an overdose of marijuana. Ever. Never ever been a marijuana overdose death. Right? Like no one's died. No one's died from too much marijuana.
Okay.
So, from a toxicity profile, it's very safe.
I'm going to come behind you and start putting these in.
Cookie drops.
Yes, cookie drops. So how do you think, so we talked about the scenario of waiting until minute 35, but seriously, how do you think these products or cannabis-infused products enhances interaction with a significant other? Or does it?
I mean,
I would imagine it does.
It's like any other sort of social mores, right? Like, okay. You can compare it to alcohol. It's similar in that regard. It helps grease the wheels, makes it easier.
It helps grease the wheels.
Right, grease the wheels. Makes it easier to interact with a significant other.
So again, truth serum.
Right.
Somewhat. Relaxation.
Increases your libido, like we talked about before.
Increases libido.
Right.
Who can't use an increased libido?
Like, I don't know. Maybe you're not feeling the other person.
True. But if you got a situationship, or it might be, one of those, he's your man for the weekend.
Right. Which is all well and good.
Which is fine.
Totally
That's,
fine.
Whatever your choice is.
Sharing is caring.
Okay.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
I mean, it's not over here, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
But I don't knock anybody that shares because that's their choice.
Right.
So, you're saying grease the wheels.
Right.
Sharing is caring. Have a brownie. Or other infused product.
Right.
And let it be.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, now you're waiting on me, right?
I am. I mean, take your time.
This is fun, though. Look at these. These look so awesome.
It's going to look good.
So let me ask you this. So what if you have a partner that is not 420 friendly?
So there's a rapper called Devin the Dude.
Who?
Devin the Dude.
Devin the Dude.
Right. He generally goes by this with the saying, it's more for me.
Okay.
if your significant other is not 420 friendly,
right?
Don't force them.
Okay.
Just enjoy what you got, right?
Okay.
Like you ain't gotta push somebody into a situation where they're not comfortable.
Right.
It always leads to bad outcomes.
I agree with you on that.
And so just save your own.
How do you approach that conversation? Well, you know what? Before we get into how do you approach the conversation, let's just do a quick recap.
Right.
So again. So the only infused piece of this recipe was the butter and the brownie batter. Right.
We put the butter in the brownie batter.
Okay.
See how simple it was?
Yeah, it was very simple.
We did everything else as if we're normally making brownies. We just added in the infused butter.
Okay.
Into the brownie batter. And once it was infused, you can basically ensure that it's thoroughly mixed.
Right.
And you know how much you put in from a milligram standpoint.
And from that mathematical equation you shared a little while ago.
Right.
Right?
You said basically you took half a can of 450.
Okay.
Right, which is around 225 roughly. You have 12. Divide 225 by 12 is roughly 20.
Okay.
Per brownie.
Per brownie. So 20 milligrams.
20 milligrams.
20 milligrams of THC per brownie,
right.
Which we know is safe.
It's going to be, you're going to feel it and you're not going to get too high.
You're going to feel it, but it is safe. You won't get too high. So let's put these in the oven.
Yep.
We'll come right back. First, take a look at these. Aren't these awesome?
Some delicious.
So we are going to put these in the oven. And how long do they stay in the oven?
I think 40 to 60 minutes.
Okay, so a little longer, probably because it's two different types of batter. But we'll be right back on Love Dish. Come back with us. Welcome back to Love Dish. You can see we're having a blast, and we have not had one brownie yet. We're talking about trap songs, strippers, marijuana.
Anything fun.
Anything fun. Anything fun. We've talked about our experience as they bake. They've been baking for a little while now.
No puns intended.
No. True, no pun intended with that. But we don't want them to be half-baked. But, so we have it smelling just amazing in here. I'm hoping that they taste as amazing as they smell. I know they will. Mm-hmm. Let me see. What else can we talk about while we're waiting? It's like the clock has been tick-tocking. We were talking about 420 friendly conversations with a significant other that's not interested. Yep. And whether or not it's a deal breaker.
Look, I think that's up to the significant other.
Okay.
Like, but if they're not friendly,
yeah,
you gotta let them figure it out.
But have you ever can I ask you about your experiences?
Sure.
Have you ever had any experiences where you've been...
I'm a friendly person by nature.
So we're both friendly people by nature.
Right.
But have you been in a situation where you have been with someone that's not as friendly?
Yeah, but they're not like judging me.
Well, that's good. And it didn't hinder the opportunity to get to know each other in any kind of way.
I'm not going to smoke in their presence.
Right.
That's disrespectful.
Right.
Other than that, that means I just kind of get my fix before I meet you.
Okay. But in general, so I know a couple of people where they've had situations where their partner smoked every single day.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. Like, how do you function if you smoke every single day?
You can. I mean, I know plenty of people do it, but it is a lot of smoking.
Right.
Cannabis is a habit forming sort of drug. But I'm not going to judge other people.
I'm not asking you to judge other people, but I'm just curious. So if it's habit forming,
right.
If someone smokes every single day, from a medical standpoint, can they really function well?
I know people who function well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very much up to the individual.
Right.
If you find yourself using cannabis and it's interfering with your daily activities otherwise, you should get some help.
Get help, slow down, stop.
Exactly.
All of the above.
Fortunately, there's not massive withdrawal symptoms from cannabis.
Okay.
Or if you stop, you're not going to experience a whole bunch of side effects.
Well, that's good. That's good to know.
You might be a little cranky and irritable.
Right. And you won't be hungry. Does cannabis really give you the munchies?
Some people. I don't really get the munchies.
You don't get the munchies?
Cannabis, no.
Okay. Because you see, we have all this stuff up here, and I'm wondering.
It's all you right there.
In about an hour, am I going to want? Am I going to want to eat all these donut holes?
Check back in an hour.
Right.
We'll see.
We'll see. Right. Okay. So, we were trying to play a game. It didn't really work.
It's because you don't know no lyrics.
I don't know lyrics necessarily. I know some songs, and some movies. What's your favorite movie about marijuana?
My favorite movie about marijuana?
Well, I mean, not necessarily about marijuana, but what's your favorite,
movie with marijuana
marijuana in it, yes.
I'm going to have to go with the staple Half Baked.
Half Baked is an oldie but goodie.
Yep.
I think people sleep
Shout
on
out
Half
to
Baked.
Dave Chappelle.
always, and he's from this area.
Exactly.
So you can't go wrong with that. I think people really sleep on Half Baked because it was definitely ahead of its time. Well, I won't say it was ahead of its time because I come from an era of Cheech and Chong.
Sure.
And those were great movies. They were hilarious. And even to this day, like, I can watch one of those movies and just roll around laughing.
Do you laugh while not high?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Which is always the true tell true sign of a good movie.
Right.
When you can laugh when you are not under the influence of anything.
Right.
So
it's just genuinely funny.
It's just genuinely funny. So shout out to the writers of Cheech and Chong movies. So let's check and see if the brownies are ready. I think they are.
I think they are too.
They look really good.
They smell really good.
They smell amazing.
I would help you, but I burn myself.
I don't want you to burn yourself. And I'm going to just... There we go.
Boom.
Awesome. So if you'll grab that towel right over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to set these on top of the towel right here. Generally, how long should one wait?
I usually let them wait 10 to 15 minutes.
He wants to be perfect with his towel.
I do.
10 to 15 minutes? I see. There, now. 10 to 15 minutes.
Let them sit.
All right.
Cool off. Don't want to burn your tongue.
Okay, that's true. So we are going to take a quick break, let them sit and cool off, and then we'll be right back with our final thoughts on our brownie cookie batter brownies. All right, right back on Love Dish. Welcome back to Love Dish. I'm K.S. Lewis with Dr. Malik Burnett.
What up?
Listen, we finished the brownies. As you can see, they look gorgeous. They smell even better. Before we get to dig into them, I do want to talk a little bit more. So what's your favorite cannabis-infused product?
So my favorite cannabis-infused product, it's a tough one. I'd say I like chocolates.
Okay, chocolates are cool. Chocolates are cool.
You always get a good bang for your buck.
And you know, chocolates are really known as the ingredient for love.
For sure. Right?
And so who's the special person? Well, let me back up. We're not asking who
remix.
Right. We're not asking who the special person is in your life, but is there someone special that gets chocolate or these infused products on a regular?
Would I be in trouble if I said couple?
You won't be in trouble with me. I'm not one. I'm not in the number.
Good.
But
as long as I'm not in trouble with you, that's all that matters.
You're not in trouble with me at all. But you know, you're a handsome guy. You're a doctor.
Right.
You're a businessman. You're all over the place, and you're single.
Stay single.
So you hear this man? He said, "Stay single."
Stay single.
So just putting it out there. I don't want the couple that might be upset to get upset with me because there's no reason for that. But do you think that these types of products can kind of flow into a relationship, old age?
It makes for a great conversation starter.
Yeah. But do you think so let's say if you and your couple of loved ones, whatever one you choose for that day, old and gray, sitting on the porch, rocking back.
Some of them out by then.
You gotta weed them out by then. Just say you're down to 2 by then.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because to be sure, you will have slowed down a little bit, so you can't chase so many.
Maybe. They got power walkers now.
Power walkers.
Yeah.
But do you see yourself just kind of still enjoying this type of a product, and hopefully with the one you love?
Yeah. I think cannabis has uses for lots of ages and stages in life. Okay. You get in. It all depends on how you wanna relax, and I think it's one of those products that's versatile, and it never serves me wrong, and I don't think it will in the future either.
Never serves you wrong. All right. And Dr. Burnett, at some point, you plan to not be single anymore?
Yeah, my mom would like that.
Yeah, I think so. I'd like that. This is a good friend of mine. We've been friends for many years.
Long time.
I would love to see you settle down.
Why?
I just think...
What's in it for you?
Nothing's in it for me other than the happiness.
I got a lot of weight.
Other than the happiness that I would feel for you. So.
Right. I appreciate that.
No problem. But so before we dig in, because we definitely have to taste our brownies, taste the fruit of our labor, So I always ask everyone the same question at the end of the show. What is your greatest hope for love?
And communication would improve.
Explain.
That everyone would be more open in talking about how they feel about love.
Okay.
On a regular basis.
Okay.
Without fear of what would come from the other person.
Okay. So almost like a no holds barred, just
say what you
unashamed conversation, no judgment.
Open and honest.
Open and honest. Do you feel like people are doing that now?
No.
I know I said that was my last question, but he just got me rolling all over again.
Right.
No, so people aren't doing that now.
No.
What do you think are the reasons why?
People are scared.
Scared of what, though?
What the other person's going to think.
Or what they might do.
No, just generally what the other person's going to think.
Okay. So you think the perception plays a lot into it, right?
Right. They have to hold up their image.
Okay.
And if you don't have confidence in yourself, especially about love, then you're going to hide it. And your relationship's not going to blossom as much as it should.
Okay. That's a really good point. And I think I agree. I think communication is key in any relationship. So, wow. Okay. You just threw me for
boom, taking it deep.
Very deep. Right at the end of the show.
Just like
so in the meantime, let's grab one of these. I'm going to have this one.
All right. Bon appetit.
Well, thank you. I'm going to tear, I'm a little bougie, I guess. So I'm going to use my knife.
No, you wildin'.
But I do want, I'm wilding out now. But I don't want to just sit here and tear all the paper. I do want to say thank you again. I am just so excited that you were able to come out and share this recipe. I know you dug in already. I want to taste it in just a second. But thank you so much for watching this season finale. We had a wonderful time. Please check out the recipe below. And feel free to use any of the products, any of your own infused products that you like. In the meantime, leave comments below, subscribe, and I will see you next season on Love Dish. Take care. And let me taste this. It's very good.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to eat the whole thing. I'm going to eat the whole thing. And then relax. See you soon.
Sit right here, my dear. Come on, baby, open up about your fears. Let's talk about love. Laughs and tears, I hope that I make it clear. For you, love, I'm here.
Baby, just show me your heart. You know that this could be the very start of something wonderful, so incredible. Just the right amount of flavor makes this a dish we both can savor.
Let's bring together these ingredients of joy.